This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by our good buddies at Squarespace. Guys, the future is coming. Make it brighter with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website. You can showcase your work, blog, or publish content, even sell products and services of all kinds in just a few clicks. You can customize everything from look and feel to settings and products using beautiful templates created by world-class designers. And there's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Not too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
Up. All right.
Did
Ready?
you just do a vocal warm-up?
I was just making sure that my headphones were on.
By going bup, bup, bup?
Up.
Oh, the lesser-known voice warm-up.
Yeah.
This is what Celine Dion does before a concert. She just looks in the mirror and goes, bup, bup, bup.
Up.
It's fun facts here on this episode of Not Too Deep. Hey, everybody. I'm Grace Helbig.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Ferry.
I don't know why I introduced myself. I've never done that before, really. But sure. Hi.
Hi, Grace. How are you?
I'm well, Jack. How are you?
I feel great. I feel like we really started this episode on a very solid note.
Totally. Bup, bup, bup.
Bup,
Can't
bup.
go wrong.
I was just making sure the mic was on.
I know, and I appreciate your professionalism.
Thank you.
This is an exciting episode. Ashly Perez is on with us. You guys probably know her from Buzzfeed. But she's just a really great content creator.
Dude, so funny. She was such a great guest.
She's super smart. She's really funny. She makes great content on BuzzFeed and is now sort of venturing into kind of her own world of content creation too, which is super exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah.
And I think we also might have by the end of this convinced her to start her own podcast.
It sounded like it.
If by the time this episode goes up and Ashly has started a podcast, please spam her to bring us on as guests.
I will second that emotion because I think she was such a great interview. I think she would be an excellent podcast host.
Totally. She's very introspective and just very funny. So
I agree.
Get ready for that. But first, us.
Yes. Hi, Grace.
We did this already.
I know, but you just got back from New York.
I did.
How was your trip?
Weather.
Yeah, cold.
Yeah, I know. We live in this bubble that is Los Angeles, and I forget that there are seasons that exist in other parts of the world. So it was classic New York. Everything's covered in piss, and everyone's angry.
So are you one of those people when you travel, you don't check a bag?
I used to only check a bag because I didn't want to deal the idea in my head of getting on a plane and having to awkwardly lift my bag, which I didn't know for sure I would be able to based on weight, into an overhead bin with the possibility that no one would help me or the possibility that I would drop it on someone's head was so debilitating that I used to only check bags and be like, I just don't want to deal with this potentially awkward social situation. But then I lost my luggage on a couple flights. And so now I try not to check it if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't like to check a bag, but it's difficult when you go somewhere cold.
Yeah.
Because you need all that cold weather gear. It stinks.
Life sucks. But
it does suck.
But this season, Not Too Deep, you guys know we're trying to put a positive spin on things.
We are.
And bring a little bit of optimism into all of our lives that might need it right now.
Indeed.
In this climate of things and such. So
that's right.
We have our segment called We're Rooting For You.
We are.
Where Jack and I, every week or every episode, bring a different person or thing or event or something that has caught our attention in our worlds that we want to let each other know about and in turn express that we are rooting for said person, thing, event, etc.
Yes.
So Jack, I'll let you go first. Who are you rooting for?
I am rooting for this person I follow on Twitter.
Okay.
Her name is Lane Moore.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is.
I know Lane Bryant.
Okay. That's different.
A clothing store.
Totally different. Lane Moore is at Hello Lane Moore on Twitter. And she has this like ongoing thread that's been going on for, I'm going to say weeks now.
Oh, okay.
About this cute boy in her her building who she's apparently too shy to talk to.
How did you find this person on Twitter?
Because other people have started retweeting it and it ended up in my feed. And now I am...
So it's a saga.
I am completely caught up in the saga. I want to know what's happening. And the one that really got my attention was this tweet that she put out on January 1st, so on New Year's Day, in all caps. Attention. The cute boy in my building went to do laundry, but I was doing mine. So he said he'd come back later. When I went back to get it, he'd taken it out of the dryer and neatly folded all of it for me. Like he took the time to gently fold my pillowcases and shit. What is this?
Oh my! I mean, they're living together now.
I mean, how could you not get caught up in that?
Okay, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If it wasn't a cute boy, it was some creepy old man. Would you have such affection for someone touching your stuff and folding it for you?
Probably not. But let's focus on the positives here.
So focus on the positives that maybe this is a love story that is developing via social media,
and it continues to develop. So like if you go to her, she's constantly posting updates to this thread.
Wow.
About the cute boy in her.
Do you believe it's real?
I think so because like I'm just gonna grab one at random. So okay, so this morning I woke up to a text thread my landlord started where she texted everyone in the building. So now I technically have laundry guy's phone number, but I don't know which one it is. Also, I'm hearing someone in his apartment practicing trumpet right now. Maybe him? Who knows?
Wow. Okay.
So it's a little stalkery, but I think it's cute. So,
but it's also like a murder mystery. Like she's using these context clues to get all of this person's information.
Indeed. And she is, clearly she doesn't know his name. She just refers to him as laundry guy. She clearly has but she has a very deep crush on him. And I think that, they must be kind of mutual. I would have never folded someone's clothes for them.
No, but what's the alternative what if you're running late and you need to get your laundry done and so like college rules where you take someone's laundry out, but you put it on their dryer, but you if you feel bad about it, you would fold it, I guess, so that you taking it out didn't seem like such a bad gesture.
He folded her pillowcases.
Yeah, well, that's very sweet.
That feels like the beginning of a rom-com.
What's the end game, though?
Oh, well, that's what I want to find out, and we don't know. So
what would you do?
Go follow Lane Moore.
If you started talking to someone and then after the fact found out that they had this entire online saga life chronicling them figuring out who you were.
I hadn't thought of that. Like if I was laundry guy?
Yeah, if you were a laundry guy, what would your reaction be to finding out that this entire viral story has swept the Twitter nation?
Okay, well, because this is a positive segment, I'm going to hope that he doesn't have a Twitter. When he finds
he's probably too cool. Laundry guy's too cool for social media.
He's too cool. He finds it. He thinks it's adorable.
Flattering.
And then immediately joins Twitter and creates the handle Laundry Guy. He's at Laundry Guy now.
Okay, so he takes advantage of this.
I'm rooting for this relationship.
We're rooting for you, Lane.
Lane Moore.
Yes. Not Bryant. Not Lane Bryant. Also rooting for Lane Bryant. I mean, it's been a long brand of a store, so they've really done it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's who I'm rooting for.
I'm with you. I'm rooting for her. We'll see what happens. I'm rooting for Adam Rippon,
okay.
who is the first openly gay U.S. man to qualify for the Olympics in ice skating. He is openly gay. I know. Trust me, everyone has questioned this headline. Here's the deal. Johnny Weir was not out when he was an ice skater. He came out after he retired.
Okay. All right.
And look it up. Everyone is using this headline. Look, there are questions to be had. I get it. But once you see Adam Rippon, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Because he's kind of made himself like this sassy villain in ice skating too, where
he's
he
like
just
the heel of villain.
He kind of like talks.
He
kind of talks shit about all the other ice skaters, but he also like is so confident in himself that it's really difficult to describe on the podcast. But when he got his scores in the qualifying round, he literally put his hands up, shimmied his shoulders, and then gave two peace signs, shimmied his shoulders again, and then pushed back his fake long hair. He like pushed it back. It's the greatest reaction to getting scores ever. He like kicked his leg up over his head. He's so fantastic.
Very flamboyant. That's amazing.
And he apparently didn't necessarily like make the team in terms of scores. The like ice skating committee kind of like congregated and they switched out the guy that was in the top 3 with him.
Wow.
And I think it's this thing of like, he's honestly an interesting person to watch because he gives great sound bites. And he's turning this world of like ice skating, a la the era that we're in, where we're revisiting the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan stuff, and how that was a crazy scenario, but gave so much media attention to the sport of ice skating. It feels a little bit like this guy is really interesting. He gives more attention to this world that now has attention back on it.
I love it.
Someone asked him in like a press conference after it was announced that he was going to be on the team. They were like, "What's it like being an openly gay athlete?" in 2018. He's like, exactly like being a straight athlete, just with better eyebrows. He's perfect. I'm rooting for him. He's amazing. He's fantastic. He's just so sassy, and I want to see everything he does.
Amazing. Well, you know, I'm already a fan of figure skating, so I'm absolutely rooting for him as well.
We're rooting for you, Adam. Another reason for us to watch the Winter Olympics, which I keep forgetting are happening this year.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So bonkers. But okay, there we go. Those are who we are rooting for this week. If you guys have anyone that you are rooting for in the world, don't hesitate to tweet at us.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know, and also give us suggestions on who in upcoming episodes we should be rooting for if we don't see them on our own.
Absolutely.
And someone that needs no rooting for, but we all obviously root for her, is our guest, which we're about to talk to, Ashly Perez. Like we said, she's so cool. She's so smart. She's got her finger on the pulse, and a lot of opinions about Taylor Swift that I wasn't totally privy to beforehand.
Yes.
So get ready. Trigger warning. If you're a Swiftie, this might rattle your world a little bit, but hear her out. We'll be right back with Ashly Perez on Not Too Deep.
Not too deep.
With Grace Helbig.
Get ready for some drama on Monday, February 26th. Get ready for the premiere of an amazing new show on NBC called Good Girls. It stars 6-time Emmy nominee Christina Hendricks, as well as Retta and Mae Whitman, as 3 best friends who suddenly find themselves desperately in need of money. We all know what that's like. Beth's cheating husband has left her family hopelessly in debt, and they could lose their home. Annie's ex is suing for custody, and she can't afford a lawyer. And Ruby needs some serious cash to afford the life-saving medical treatment her daughter needs. So these 3 suburban moms take matters into their own hands and pull a one-time heist. They score more money than they imagined and more trouble than they bargained for. The critics love Good Girls, calling it, quote, hilarious, quote, fun, quote, just what you need. And Vogue.com raves, quote, get ready to be hooked. From the writer of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, don't miss Good Girls, premiering right after the all-new season of The Voice, with the return of Alicia Keys and a brand new coach, Kelly Clarkson, Monday, February 26th on NBC. This is so exciting. Ashly Perez is here. Yay!
Hi. Hello.
And we talked to Matt Belisai about this, that the first ever interview that Mamrie and Hannah and I ever did was you and Matt backstage at our No Filter show.
That was the first interview?
That the 3 of us did together.
Oh my God.
That wasn't like a VidCon thing or something. And I remember all of us, I told Matt this, when we left, we were like, they were so prepared and they knew so much about us. And those were great questions. And that was so fun. And then now look where we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. That's like a really random, because now I'm like really good friends with Hannah and I see her
Right.
all the time. And like after that, I did one more interview with Hannah, and then Hannah being Hannah was like, hey dude, like touching me all over. And she's like, can we hang? Like, what are you up to? And like started inviting me to like birthday parties and
Yeah.
stuff. And that was in the point where I'd just gotten back to LA and I was like, I don't know anyone except for Hannah. Is like weirdly, all my friends have also thought that Hannah has been attracted to them at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Hannah,
Quinta was like, Hannah is in love with me. I'm like, no, dude, that's just how she
that's
is.
just how she is. She flirts with everyone. She flirts with me. I mean, it's
yeah,
doesn't
just
matter.
how she is.
It's how she attracts people to her is
Yep.
by seemingly being attracted to them. But it's just how she communicates. When she likes someone and wants
Yeah.
to be around them, she makes them feel like they're the most special human in the universe.
Deep eye contact and shoulder rubs.
Yeah,
And
she's very-
short,
she's
too, so
very
it's like
touchy.
She gets on people.
Yeah, she's climbed us all like trees at some point in our lives, which I mean just makes you feel special.
It really does.
She brings you in. But that was so fun, and what a like blast from the past.
Yeah. How many years ago was that? Like 4 or 5
4
or
or 5.
something?
I've been out here for 5 years.
Were
So
you living in New York?
I think I was living in New York, so it's over 5 years ago.
Whoa.
I know. Were you
Time
living in New
flies.
York? Were
I
you,
was.
You were
I
working for
started
BuzzFeed
at
there?
BuzzFeed in New York, and I think I was still an intern, and nobody cared or knew about YouTube. And the reason that I knew about you guys was because I lived in Korea the year before teaching English because I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and I literally just needed to listen to people speaking English. So I'd either watch YouTube videos or listen to friends.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, because you were surrounded by Korean all day.
That's it. And so then when I got to BuzzFeed, I was like, I think we should start writing about like YouTubers because we're like part of the internet too. And they were like, go for it.
No, that was what was so cool about it. They were like, BuzzFeed's legitimate. This is a big, and they want to interview us. Like we had such a hard time explaining to anyone what YouTube was.
Yeah.
And so for someone that worked for an actual like source that we all looked at daily, we were like, this is cool. This feels like a breakthrough.
Well, it was good that for both of us, it felt like big time.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But now, so you've been with BuzzFeed for how long now?
5 years. I've been with BuzzFeed for 5. That stock is vested, y'all. I'm
Get
having
it.
a great time.
Get it.
When I was at BuzzFeed, people were like, BuzzFeed? Like, had no idea what I did. Yeah.
And you started more as like writer producer, right? And now you've been moved to like in front of the camera. So how did that transition happen?
So I was like an editorial intern, and I was living in New York, and I thought my whole life that New York was like going to be my dream. And I'm from California, and I just did not know that summer sucked and winter sucked and almost everything except for 4 perfect weeks in New York. And everyone's the worst in New York. And so it just killed my soul. And they were opening an LA office that literally had like 2 people. And they were like, does anyone want to move to LA? And everyone from New York said no. And I was like, please move me. And so they moved me out here. And at that point, video and edit were such small teams that we were all in the same room, and actors were too expensive. And Zay Frank, who's the president, was literally like, hey, you're kind of loud. Like, why don't you be in videos? and the rest is like truly history.
It's so, I mean, the system in there blows my mind. I remember years and years ago, Ella produced a video that she invited me into. Well, first they invited me into like the pitch meeting, which Zay sits in, and they psychoanalyze like what you mean to the internet world. And it was like a therapy session that I had to like do, like reflect on myself and my relationship with the audience.
Oh my God.
And then they created this like 10 ways to be like a non-ladylike lady or something.
I remember that video.
Yeah, and it was so guerrilla style that literally Keith told us that he's in that video with me because she just grabbed him and was like, will you just sit with her while she eats pizza gross in front of you?
Most people at BuzzFeed like got their on-camera start by just people grabbing them and putting them on there, and then the audience kind of reacts to you and whether or not they like you. But like, I'm sure that setup was probably just Ella with a camera. I don't
literally
even think there was audio.
There might have been one camera person and her just making sure that like things looked okay.
Yeah. That's like it, like maybe an intern. And almost everyone started as like everyone that you know and love, minus Quinta, who's like a special unicorn, was an intern.
But it feels like its own sorority fraternity thing, because you guys are all genuinely friends in real life.
Yeah. And that, you know, I don't think I could have done this process without having people coming up with me in it, because I had no intentions at all of like being in front of camera. My major was international studies. I was supposed to be a diplomat, and now I make YouTube videos.
Which is a diplomat in its own way.
Exactly.
You have a voice.
Technically, I have a voice. But yeah, it is. That was so nice because there were so many changes that would happen of even just, we all started getting recognized at the same stage, and we all started, it was also weird to deal with the fact that most of us were producers and doing behind the camera stuff and did all of the work, and people only recognized us for one thing, which was our faces. And so
that's bizarre.
Yeah, it was really like, oh, it's not a bad thing, but it also, you kind of want to be like, I know how to do the rest of the stuff too. Like, I can edit, I can produce, I can direct, I can write, you know?
No, that's the cool thing about you guys are all, it's kind of a microcosm of YouTube and the digital space in that company alone, that you guys are all self-producers and like you wear every single hat.
It feels like, honestly, I describe it as like showrunner school. I feel like I've been in showrunner school for like 3 years. It is. It's amazing. Like, I've been able to truly learn how to produce, direct, act, write, and just run my own shit, which is really cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
Am I allowed to say shit on this?
Of course.
Okay.
Fuck yes. It's also expanding like crazy. Do you feel like a senior in high school now when you like, I don't know who all these freshmen are?
I cannot. I feel like a super senior. That's how I've been describing it, because when I started BuzzFeed, it was 200 people in one office in New York, and it is now 2,000 people in like 19 global offices.
Wow.
Jesus.
And our reach was, I remember when we like, there was a presentation of like, hey, we got 10 posts that got 1 million views. And that's actually how I got hired. I wrote one of like the most popular posts from a community site. And they were like, where's this girl? Where's the traffic coming from? And they're like, she's in South Korea. It was like a weird like Korean attack. But then they
you've infiltrated the system.
But now it's like BuzzFeed reaches billions of people every month.
Yeah.
And so it is super weird. And like in some ways, I feel like it is my time to move on and be like, okay, I need to leave before I'm just that person that everyone's like, she's been here a while.
No, I totally understand that. I've been there where you feel like you've gotten as much as you can out of this system or this like educational experience. And then at some point you're like, I'm not flourishing anymore unless I go and do something else that's like makes me nervous and I don't know what I'm doing.
A different format. The other day I realized like I've done this so much that I'm not nervous anymore.
Yeah.
And that really is like, it's a hard part to not feel nervous.
Complacency is a scary feeling. It's very comfortable, but I've learned like in 2018, my like inner kind of mantra is like do more things that make me afraid.
So do you, when you get to that point, do you like switch formats or what is your kind of like, I need to do this now?
That's basically where I've been in the last like year is trying to figure out like, what do I do? And I think I need to really just like shake it up and like force myself into something uncomfortable. Like I used to do improv all the time and that was this like regular routine of feeling uncomfortable. And I've gotten so away from that and so focused on YouTube, which is more comfortable. But now the space is changing. So it's like, what do I do so that I still feel that level of excitement? Because I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Exactly. And just that live audience feel. I used to do stand up in college and I think I might just start doing that again because
speaking of uncomfortable.
Yeah, God. And it's just hard being in front of a live audience when a joke bombs. You just know. Like we've gotten so used to just like likes and comments and not even individual stuff in mass. It's just like I got this many numbers, this is my ratio. Like we're really into stats and stuff at Buzzfeed. But I really want to have more of that like personal interaction again.
I think that's great because you guys were doing live shows at BuzzFeed, right?
Yeah, we did a few live shows.
Okay, but you haven't done that for a while.
I haven't. I'm also 2018. I have literally no idea what my year is going to be like.
Yeah, I think that's par for the course for a lot of us. Yeah. I think we're all just hoping that the Earth stays intact for a little bit.
We're all going to be puppeteers. Yeah, that's our new format.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
That would be great.
That would be really fun. You were in a sorority in college.
Yes. Okay. I actually. How do you? Who does your Googles?
We do research too.
Diane did some research.
Diane!
She's got you covered. I have a lot of things to talk to you about Oprah and Taylor Swift.
Oh my God,
but I was shocked. Not shocked, but I was like, oh, you were in a sorority. What was that like?
Dude, my life has, everything is like, people at BuzzFeed are like, what, you were in a sorority? And then when I was in a sorority, like I grew up really Christian. People are like, what, you're really Christian? There's just like a lot of weird phases in my life. Being in a sorority, honestly, it was like the best time in my life. I just don't genuinely like being around dudes that much. Yeah. And like being in a sorority was my... I like sit next to Jack. But like for me, it was so nice because I didn't do any of like the crazy drinking or partying. I was just obsessed. I felt like I had 80 best friends.
Well, it's a community. Yeah.
The best thing about sororities, like there's a lot of shitty stuff, but Pepperdine was a dry campus. So it wasn't like raging and like hanging out with frats and stuff like that. And so
it's just like core sisterly values.
Truly.
Isn't Pepperdine that beautiful school?
Yes. It's impossible to study.
Oh, on Malibu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
You would literally like, I worked at Malibu Yogurt. That was one of my first jobs. And I served like Pierce Brosnan and Julia Roberts. And like, it's the weirdest clientele
what is this
ever.
Fever dream that I live in.
And it's your college. Like, that's your college experience.
Wow.
Yeah. But being in a sorority, the one thing I like the most is usually when you get to college and you're a freshman, you don't have access to upperclassmen in any real way because you're segregated. And it was really cool to have older girls kind of be able to give me advice. So that's the thing I like the most about it. But there's a ton of shitty stuff about sororities.
Sure.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was a Delta Gamma too, or it always said like there's like people who are famous in your sorority and they tell you over and over again. So I finally saw her one night after this UCB show, this tiny UCB show. And we're just standing, you know how you have to wait for the valet? Yeah. So we're just standing there and it's literally me and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And I was like, I was a Delta Gamma too. And she literally goes, fuck Delta Gamma.
Wow.
She like dropped out after, and I was like, I don't know what to say. I thought this was going to be our moment of sisterly bonding.
You're like, I didn't have a response for this response.
I was ready to do our secret handshake. And instead, she's like, fuck your life.
That's so funny.
Oh man!
I remember when I came into BuzzFeed, it was the early stages when you guys were getting like awarded for like passing 1 million on videos and things like that. Yeah. Which I thought was like a cool like incentive system, sort of. But also I was rewatching a bunch of videos that you were doing about like my stylish friends like redo my whole wardrobe, and I'm just posting photos on Instagram with no comment about like comedy at all. Yeah. So I feel like you've gotten to go through a lot of like personal like changes via videos in BuzzFeed. Is there one or a series that you've been like, this has been the most like meaningful to me?
Honestly, like everything has changed about like me internally and my like confidence level. And it's also nobody can ever prepare you for what it means for everyone to critique every single part of your body, your voice, your hair.
And you guys are very raw and very vulnerable in so many videos that it's like, wow. But you're also, you have a sense of humor about it, but you're not letting that curb like actually experiencing something.
The most recent video that I did was I learned how to dance in 30 days. And that was like,
wait, like hip hop dance?
Okay, so I thought it was going to be like, I'll learn a hip hop routine. And it ended up being a video about my confidence and my sexuality, not like gay, straight orientation, but like how I feel in my body, because my whole life I felt very smart and I felt very funny.
Sure.
Because I didn't like my body and I didn't relate to it and I kind of saw it as a joke. And so I did this video kind of knowing that. But it turned into like such an emotional experience. And I danced every day for 30 days. And it changed my confidence. And I've been doing this for 5 years, but it was the thing that's changed me the most.
Whoa. That's, I mean, I have to watch that because that is something I relate to where I'm like, dancing is funny, but I watch really good dancers and I'm like, that's so cool to be able to do that.
Well, and I only know what my body is as a funny thing. Like most of my videos and most of the things I've done at Buzzfeed is like, I trip, I'm the awkward girl. I don't know how to flirt with people. And so I wanted to like feel empowered because I felt, now I'm 28 and I when I started, I was this 23-year-old girl. And so I've gone through this big emotional change and I feel really in charge of my career and my life and my education and my social circle. And I was so disconnected from my body.
Whoa. But that's an amazing thing to experience openly in a video instead of like borrowing yourself from that.
You know what was really cool? Like this is kind of the cool reverse side of all the shitty comments. I've never gotten so many comments from our audience and just real friends who are like, I want to do this. I feel this way about my body. I think the biggest thing that I try and do is what do people feel like they can't say?
Right.
And how can I do that and be vulnerable so that they can say me too, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, speaking of awkward dancing, we're going to segue into Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I want to believe that she's a great dancer so much. And then I watch her and I'm like, no, you're just awkward in your body. But this is as good as it's going to get. And I appreciate it. What are your thoughts on Reputation?
Listen, I went I went through I was the biggest Taylor Swift stan in the world. And then I kind of went through this like awakening of Taylor Swift is extremely problematic in many, many, many ways. But I didn't know what to do because it was still my favorite music. And so when Reputation came out, I love how it's like, Taylor's dead and this is the new Taylor. And it's like, this is the exact same Taylor who still wants revenge on everybody and who like will write about you forever in a song. But I didn't like it at first and I cannot stop listening to it. It's the only, I have 2 physical CDs in my car and it's 1989 and Reputation.
I mean, that speaks for itself. Do you have a favorite song off of it?
It switches. I would say Endgame or Dress. I mean, it's literally every day. It's a different
one. Are you going to the concert?
I don't know, because you got to do a lot of shit now to get to the concert. You have to buy a lot of things and tweet a lot of stuff.
And it didn't sell out the way 1989 sold out in like minutes. So there's still a bunch of tickets available.
I didn't even know they were on sale yet.
I looked them up. They're on sale and they're like way more expensive than 1989 tickets were. So that's what everyone's like, what's going on? Why?
I went to Red twice. I went to 1989 and I loved it. But this one, I don't know. I just don't. Hannah really wants to go and I'm like, maybe.
I would go if I got a free ticket.
Exactly.
I don't know how much I'm invested in going on my own accord. But I'm curious to see what the stage show looks like.
It's just going to be black and like snakes and stuff. I'll walk into a Hot Topic if I want to see that.
But I want to see her do the slap leg dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look what you made me do.
God.
It's interesting. I will say, I don't know if you watched her making the song videos.
I watched some of them, yeah.
That was really interesting to me.
I did. Like, I don't think she gets credit for being a writer.
Yeah, that's the part that I think people forget. It's like they see her as this floppy, millennial girl that's writing diary entries and then making them into songs. But making a song is so more complex than I think about it. And these videos are like 7 minutes of her just like sitting in front of a keyboard, just playing the same
4 chords
over and over again, and then just like humming different like words to it.
I
And
do
I'm
like listening to those though, because it feels like the real version of Taylor, what she actually wants to say, and then she'll like change it later. I'm like, ooh, it's like getting in someone's psyche.
Yeah, exactly. That I was like, this makes her more of a human to me. Watching this part where literally it's just her like thinking of rhyming words for other words.
Someone once told me that people stay the age that they are when they got famous, and that has made sense
I've
of
heard that too.
every celebrity to me.
I've heard that
So
too.
Taylor Swift acts like a 15-year-old forever.
That makes so much sense because that becomes your brand and your identity.
Also, the thing that changes the most is once you get famous, you no longer exist in a real world, and people are now making money off of you. People have an agenda for you, and you don't have real feedback like a normal 15-year-old.
Right. So
Justin
time
Bieber is
exist.
12. You know, like it really works the more you think about it when you see people and how much maturity they've reached.
Mariah Carey is what, 21?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's valid.
She's raging.
That makes so much sense. I've never thought of it that way. Okay, well, moving on from one icon to another, Oprah. You stan Oprah though.
I forever. Listen, I was watching the Golden Globes thing. I was on a plane when it was happening, so I didn't get to watch it live. And then we watched it on YouTube. And I just like, I clutched my pearls. When she pauses and goes, but their time is up. I was like, I don't know what just happened to my body, but I'm in a different dimension. I feel like we all got sucked into the bad place and the wrong dimension this last year. And I was like, oh, whatever we've all karmically done to be shifted out of that dimension, it's happening now.
Yeah, she is... that was so powerful that I was like, am I watching a Broadway show right now? And someone's doing like a monologue that's like the tipping point of this like whole spectacle. It was so obviously rehearsed, but it seemed so off the top of her head.
That's what oh my God. And the story, I was like, where are we going? And now we're in Alabama. And here we are. And then I love when it cuts to everyone in the audience and everyone's like crying and also like doesn't know what to do. Yeah. And then the awkward part when they all stand, but then she has like 4 minutes of her speech left.
Still.
And so they're all still kind of standing.
That's the awkward of like, how do I sit down in front of Oprah when I've already stood up?
You know what?
Don't.
Yeah. You know what kills me is Oprah, though. I want all of her show, 25 years of it. I want it on Netflix. Like, I need it.
Yeah, it's not?
No, I bought the box set, which is only like kind of the best of Oprah. And it has like all the kind of backstory of her. But I just will never be as amazed because like Oprah, by all means, like doesn't have a right to be who she is. And she always talks about like she had an innate sense of being her whole life of what she wanted to be. And I've kind of felt like that, but it's a weird thing to say out loud. Right. And I love that she just speaks that into being and wants to encourage other people to do that.
Oh, have you ever been in a room with Oprah or near? Okay. You've met her?
No. If I had met her, I would be truly dead. No, I also have a weird thing with celebrities where I want to meet people as peers and friends. So like anytime I see someone that I love, I just can't talk to them or say anything to them. But I went to a couple panels recently for Queen Sugar that Oprah and Ava DuVernay were in the same room. And those two women, it's so funny because they have so much power between them. And literally some guy in the audience was like, why did you do all female directors for this? And they both laughed and went, because we can.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was amazing. I don't know if I want to meet Oprah. Although, man, my favorite day in the world is Oprah's Harvest Day. Do you follow her on Instagram?
Oh, I've heard of this.
Shit, it is crazy. She's the largest private landowner of Maui. She owns like a third of Maui.
Really? Whoa. I didn't know that.
And the thing I love about Oprah is she's the most extra because why not? She literally has like her own crates that say Oprah's Farm. Like she has her own logo that's designed for it. And when her produce is the size of your fucking face and she goes out, I don't know who films her. I feel like it's Stedman. And she's just like, and now we have the cabbages. And it's to no one. And she's just walking around. And whenever it's Harvest Day, I'm like, I don't think there's more pure joy than Oprah just like holding a 30-pound cabbage.
Wait, what day of the year is it? I mean, it changes year to year.
It's season to season. So like, that's the thing. It's kind of like Oprah's Favorite Things episode.
You
don't know when Harvest Day is going to be. You literally don't know. And you're like, oh my God. And then you see her Instagram stories like 75 things long, like an ant on Facebook.
Yeah. You're like, I'm in for this 3-hour movie.
She literally goes through every single vegetable and she's like, I love love leaks because leaks are blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I think I love leaks.
Yeah. Didn't she post a photo and she was like, I love this rosemary or something. Everyone was like, that's fennel.
Yeah.
That's fennel, Oprah. And it was like Jamie Oliver being like, that's fennel. Oh, is this the photo of Diana's bringing it? Oh my God. Yeah, this is Oprah. This makes me so happy. Just picked, wishing all kinds of bountiful harvest to you all. Hashtag Harvest Day. This was September 28th, 2017. This is a basket of insane amounts of.
Oh my goodness.
Humongous. And also, it's just like au naturel Oprah, where she's just. I love also when she found out what Warby Parker was, there were multiple series of videos where she just bought like hundreds of pairs of Warbies and was like, what do you guys think of this one? What do you guys think of
exploiting their at-home try-on system.
They're like, we lost a lot of money this quarter. We don't know why. It's just because
Oprah
Oprah's
just
trying them
kept
all on.
all of our try-on glasses.
We'll link to that photo in the show notes. If you want to check it out on Instagram.
Make sure you're ready for the harvest season. And who knows, by the time this airs, there might be another harvest day that
who
happens.
knows what we're going to get.
I also loved in her Golden Globe speech that she mentioned Stedman, because I was like, is that still a thing
Gail
going on?
first and then Stedman. Always Gail first. She's like, that's like Leo and Kate, where she's like, whoever her current husband is, and then she's like, and then the true love of my life. Did you see Nicole Kidman when she just full on grabbed Alexander Skarsgård and kissed him at, what was the last award show? It wasn't Golden Globes.
I heard about this. I didn't see it.
It's so freaking funny because Keith Urban, you could do a slow zoom into his face.
He's just watching it happen. Also, their kiss at the Golden Globes was an awkward journey. I saw someone post like Keith Urban trying to kiss Nicole Kidman when she won. It was a journey because she like gets up and he's trying to grab her face and she's trying to hug the person next to her.
Oh my God.
It's really uncomfortable that they got there finally.
Award show people don't know this, but award shows in general are weird.
Yeah,
like when you
awkward.
go to them, they're awkward and weird. And like you just want to like drink and go do stuff and then you have to like sit back down.
Right. If they do offer booze, everyone's loaded. Like everyone's so drunk. You just see red glassy eyes everywhere.
The one picture I saw was Tom Hanks coming back with a
martinis.
tray of martinis back at his table.
Amazing.
God's gift. You mentioned that you got foot surgery recently.
Yes,
so
I did.
You've been kind of bedridden and watching everything.
Everything.
So this is like a new question that we're asking everyone, is to explain to us in like a minute or so why we absolutely need to watch your current favorite television show.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably
actual favorite. No, I have so many.
Well, just pick one. I had the same problem.
Okay, I this is the one that I evangelize the most because a lot of people don't know about it. Fleabag on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I've seen the first episode or two. It was on a plane, but I have to finish watching.
Okay, so Fleabag is this 6-episode series that this woman who, like, the thing I love about female-led shows is it's so clear that they're so talented in playing these weird side roles their whole life, and when their shows come out, it's this fully formed, nuanced, beautiful thing that they've made. But it's the funniest show, and she breaks the fourth wall in the most clever way that I've seen it happen. But without spoiling it, by the time you get to the end of the 6th episode, it is so deep and so moving and still so funny, and you have no idea how you got there.
Wow.
You have to watch it. It's my favorite thing on Amazon. And it literally, I got sick one day and watched it all, and I was like, wait, it's done? What the hell?
Yeah, because it's only 6 episodes, right?
6 episodes. And I don't even know if they're making another season of it, but it's beautiful.
I watched, 2 people were talking about it, and then 2 episodes were available on a flight, and I watched those 2, and then I was like, this is great. It's like Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell, but way better addressing the audience, where it's like these asides. And she's just great. The way you describe it is perfect. That's like she's clearly been playing this like side character the whole time, but she has an entire world that you've never explored.
And she is the show is called Fleabag, and I didn't realize to the end her character does not have a name until I turned on the subtitles, because sometimes with British stuff I'm like, what the hell are they saying? It says Fleabag, and I'm like, she doesn't have a name, and she is the shittiest human being. And I really appreciate when female characters are allowed to be that shitty.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh, now that reminded me that I want to go watch that.
To the queue.
Season 2 comes out next year.
Oh, Season 2 comes out 2019?
Man, there's too much coming out in 2019 though that I have to wait for though. Because The Crown, Game of Thrones. I'm just gonna be busy in 2019. Don't call me or tweet at me.
Let's just take the year off.
Also, if you have my number, how did you get it if you're not my mom?
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we have Twitter questions for you.
Woo!
A lot of people have a lot of things that they want to know about you. And I'm excited to find out for myself. So we'll be right back with more Ashly Perez on Not Too Deep.
Offer code GRACE.
Yeah.
Not too deep.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by our good buddies over at Casper Mattresses. Listen up, podcast listeners. You are invited to take advantage of Casper's competitive limited time President's Day offer for the first time ever. Casper is the place to shop for President's Day mattress savings this year. They sell directly to you, eliminating added costs and saving you money. And they have 3 mattress lines to choose from. They've got the original Casper, the Innovative Wave, and the Streamlined Essential. There's something for everyone, and better yet, you can be sure of your purchase with Casper's 100-night risk-free sleep on it trial. That's right, you can try it for 100 nights to make up your mind on whether you like it. Returns are hassle-free if you're not completely satisfied. Sleep in superior comfort for the rest of 2018 and beyond with the help of the internet's favorite mattress brand. I attest to this. I currently sleep on a Casper mattress. You all know, if you've been listening to this podcast, huge fan of that brand, and highly recommend if you're in need of something to sleep on, because we spend like a third of our lives sleeping, which is insane to actualize. So make sure you're doing it right. And for a limited time, visit casper.com/savings and receive up to $200 off your purchase of $2,000 or more. That's casper.com/savings to get $200 off your purchase of $2,000 or more. This special offer expires February 20th, 2018. That's February 20th, 2018. So take advantage of it. Casper.com/terms for more details.
Not too deep.
Guess where support for today's show comes from?
I bet you it's our good buddies over at Squarespace.
You bet your bottom dollar. If you are ready to start your new business, you got to make it stand out with Squarespace. No generic businesses here.
That's right, because they have beautiful templates created by world-class designers. They make it easy to turn your idea into a unique website.
Yeah, let's say you want to showcase your work. Like you got something you wrote that's awesome. Let's say you got a blog about, dogs in rain boots that you want to create. Or if you want to publish any kind of content. Let's say you want to sell the rain boots that your dogs are wearing. Or you want to offer a service that walks dogs in rain boots. And you can make all of these things for yourself in just a few clicks.
I think you got a new business idea there, Grace.
I'm just giving the people some ideas, some brainstorming starter points.
And then from there, they can customize everything from the look and the feel to settings and products.
And you might be listening to this podcast off your phone right now. We all use our phones more than ever. Making a website with Squarespace is optimized for mobile right out of the box.
And they've got analytics to help you grow your business in real time.
Yeah, there's nothing you need to install, patch, or upgrade ever. I wouldn't even know how to do any of those 3 things.
Yeah, but if you did have a question, you always have the award-winning 24/7 customer support right there to help.
This is as if destiny is calling, and you know what it's telling you? You got to make a new website, and you got to make it with Squarespace.
And I can say confidently that Squarespace is so easy to use. Even a dum-dum like me can use it because I do on the regular.
Yeah, go. What websites have you made with Squarespace?
Let's see. I've made popcorn.show. I'm currently working on jackferry.com.
Okay.
I'm currently working on the new nottoodeep.com.
Perfect.
That's just to name a few of my many Squarespace websites.
So if you want to get in on this Jack Ferry multiple domain name game, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you are ready to launch, use the offer code GRACE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That is squarespace.com. Offer code GRACE, GRACE. Wait, is her show episodic, or is it like you can binge
Leah
all of
Remini,
it? Yeah.
listen up. Leah Remini's show about Scientology is the best show because she gets driven around by an ex-Scientologist. They're both ex-Scientologists, and she just flips off all the Scientology buildings in LA. And that's
the show.
She fucking bitches. It's amazing because the Scientology is the most fucked up thing in the world. And
I watched so many documentaries about it. The way that they hunt down the people that try to leave afterwards is so insane.
And I truly believe that if we had a different president, the FBI would finally start going after Scientology because it's really fucked up. But Leah Remini, they're always like every week they show what the Church of Scientology's response is to her, and she just looks dead at the camera with the softest lighting. Like you can't even tell where the end of her face ends.
It's Kardashian lighting,
but only for her. Everyone else normal lighting, and then every time it goes to Leah Remini, where is her face? She looks like a watercolor, but she looks dead at the camera, and she's like, "I will never stop. I don't give a single fuck about you guys." And then And then it's like next week on Scientology, and she's just being driven around like yelling at Scientology buildings.
Wow.
It's like King of Queens, but with Scientology. It's amazing.
Wait, where can I watch this?
It's on
TV,
A&E.
right? Yeah,
A&E.
A&E.
Okay.
The thing is, all TV, you can like, I only have an Apple TV, and like downloading all the apps and watching all the commercials, I cannot watch commercials because I am so susceptible.
Oh, yeah.
When I had Hulu with commercials, I saw this one commercial for this type of dishwasher soap, and I have been trying to get rid of my current dishwasher soap because I try not to buy multiples of things for it seems like a year and a half because all I want is this Cascade dishwasher soap, and it's because I watch one fucking commercial. So literally, I am only allowed to buy TV now on Amazon because it saves me money in the
From
end.
watching commercials, yeah, that's true.
So many things I have bought from commercials.
But see, I'm just terrible because my go-to is buying off Amazon because I used to never have a TV. So I would only watch shows if they're available on Amazon. And now I have a television and I just forget about like recording or on demand. So I just go to buy on Amazon. Then I'm like, I just wasted all my money. This whole season's available on demand.
You know how I feel though about buying? I'm really okay, and it's particularly have switched to buying TV on Amazon because I want people to know and the executives to know what I am watching and what I want to buy, particularly when it's female led. Like
That's cool.
I want more of this instead of like whatever else is on Comedy Central at the time.
Yeah, you want them to give you better recommendations. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, before we get into Twitter questions, I'm going to ask you the two questions we ask every guest that's on the podcast.
Great.
And the first one is, who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
I can only think about Donald Trump, probably him, or honestly Mike Pence, though, because I think his face would be way funnier. He'd be like, "Whoa, my wife!" Like he would like have a weird orgasm. It's like the most contact he gets, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is how he gets off."
That's what's his face's son that was giving him side eye when he was getting sworn in.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Is the greatest photo of all time.
Yeah, I changed my answer to Mike Pence. He also is super evil and doesn't get enough shit. And so, yeah.
True.
Agree.
True. Okay, the other question I ask every guest is to tell us your worst pants shitting story or close call, but you can only use 3 words or 3 small phrases. So mine's college, jogging, front lawn.
Pants shitting.
Or like close
a lot
call.
of pee stories. Oh, okay. Airplane landing, yelling.
Oh no! Oh, that's like my worst nightmare.
That is truly a worst nightmare scenario.
I'm now afraid of all flight attendants.
Oh my god!
You know, in Bridesmaids when they're like, "Ma'am, you must be seated." Like that's like truly PTSD. You have to go to therapy for it.
Oh boy! Well, new year, new you. Okay, now let's get into some questions from Twitter. We have some good ones here, so we'll just jump right in. This one is from Quinta Brunson.
Oh my god!
Who's that?
I don't know, but she wants to know,
tweeting.
Can I borrow $20?
Yes. Also, you owe me $20, so you can borrow $40.
There you go. Solid even. Brandon Cookland wants to know, do you still dance?
I do, but I had foot surgery, so I dance in my mind, Brandon.
Oh yeah, how long is the recovery for the foot surgery?
It's like 6 weeks.
Okay.
All the activities I like doing, I like dancing, I like rock climbing, and I like cycling. And I'm like, why did I fucking get foot surgery? If only there was a hand deformity I could have.
Right? Would you do like DDR or like Dance Dance? What's the at-home dancing one?
Yeah,
where
DDR. Like... I have Just Dance on my Switch. It's super fun. My favorite song is the Ghostbusters one. It's so much fucking fun. I love that. When I really, really want to get hype, like sometimes before I go out, I put on the original Ghostbusters theme.
The original
really?
Yeah.
Like who you gonna call?
Yeah, it picks up in this crazy way. When it's like anyway.
But
that's so funny.
That's a hot tip for anyone.
Deep cut.
I'm gonna learn how to DJ so that I can make it into the ultimate remix that I want it to be, with like Pitbull going "Dale."
That would be amazing. Also, if any of you out there have any links to current remixes of the original Ghostbusters song,
please.
I'd love it. Okay, Bert Carolyn wants to know, who's your favorite person to follow on Twitter at the moment?
Oh, who is my favorite person to follow?
I would expand this just to like Instagram too, or social media. Is there someone when you open your phone, other than Oprah, that you're like, I have to see what they're doing?
Do you guys follow Britney Spears on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh.
It's the best. It's a constant question of why, how come?
Where does she find the memes? It's like 90% minion and fairy content.
And it doesn't make sense. And the videos of her painting at home.
Yeah, those are amazing.
And then whenever it's either like a funny meme or whenever Britney like wants to show her outfit, she's like been through so much that she can barely like walk and like she smiles in the most awkward way.
And she does these at-home fashion shows.
Yes.
All the time, which are just at random. And then it'll be like her wearing like a couple cute dresses that she clearly just got. And then all of a sudden like a schoolgirl uniform at the end. And you're like, what?
I want an Instagram called The People Who Instagram These Famous People. Because do you follow Rihanna on
No, I don't.
Snapchat? Okay. I only, for a brief period of time, I followed Rihanna on Snapchat and her assistant does all the Snapchatting. And one night, Rihanna fucking came home with a puppy drunk from the club. And her best friend is like, sis, where'd you get that puppy from? And she's like, this is my puppy now. His name's Shoo Shoo. And she's like, you gotta, I was like, oh my God, this is gone forever. It's on the internet. Google Rihanna drunk puppy. And
did she keep
I think she kept it. I have no idea. Maybe she moved on to like billionaires from Saudi Arabia, but she came home inexplicably, not just with the puppy, but like with all the gear that you need from puppy at 3 a.m. I don't even know where she got it.
Leashes and bolts and dog food.
And she like unzips her like jacket at one point and is like, this is my dog now. And her assistant is like, just tell me where you got the puppy and you can keep it. And she's like, I'm not telling you.
It's all on Snapchat.
It's all on Snapchat. And that's what I love about Rihanna's Snapchat. It's just her assistant being like, you're the freaking worst.
Oh my God. When I learned that Rihanna would leave bars and restaurants like, with the glass of wine, I was like, she's perfect. All these photos of her just walking out holding like an actual glass of wine from a restaurant.
Yeah,
I
like
haven't
waiting
even
for the
seen
car to
those.
pick her up.
Oh,
there's a bunch.
That's what she's notorious for, that she just
Really?
leaves with a glass or whatever she's drinking.
Little do you know, because we're distracted by the wine, there's a puppy in her hand.
Yeah.
And all the other ones.
Now I want to find out the status of the puppy.
Mhm.
Okay, No Filter Grace wants to know, what's the weirdest or most awkward moment you've had between you, Tiny Hand, and another person?
Okay, Tiny Hand is my favorite thing to do. And I think the most awkward thing is how I got Tiny Hand, the origin story. So like fans will come up to you and give you really weird stuff, but usually it's really nice.
Yeah.
This man came up to me
boy.
one day.
Oh boy.
And most like 90% of my fans are female. And this man came up to me. He's like, hey, I love your videos. I know this is kind of weird, but when I meet new people, I like to give them something. I was like, oh my God, please don't show me your dick.
Oh my God.
And instead, even creepier, he gave me a tiny plastic hand. And I was like, and he's like, just thanks for being you and making what you make. And then he left. And I was like, what do I do with this? So I put it in my car and forgot about it because I was like, I think this means I've been marked or I'm going to die or something.
That's my immediate thought, is there's a tracking device in there. Burn it, throw it away.
So like one day, a lot later, I was like driving with one of my friends and I found it in my glove compartment because we were looking for something else. And ever since then, it's been like my favorite thing. And I don't know what, I think it was with Quinta. And I was like, why you cry, Quinta? And it has its own voice and its own like personality. I forgot to bring it.
It's created its own universe.
Mm-hmm.
I smell a spin-off series.
Yeah, I got a tiny hand of color too, because the one that I got was very white, and I found later a tiny hand of color, and I was like, yeah, girl.
There you go.
They're dating is what's gonna happen in my universe.
That's canon.
Yeah.
I
You
think
heard it
it's-
here.
I think it's a great series. Ryan wants to know, button all the way up or keep the top 3 open?
Oh, depends on how queer I'm feeling that day. Like if I want to, then honestly though, I feel like my neck is bigger than most. And so I'll try and button it all the way. And then it feels like I'm dying.
That you're getting suffocated.
So mainly just like one button. But then you get to the problem of one button down looks way too weird.
Right. They're like,
Like-
I look like I'm going to church.
Exactly.
Or something.
And so usually like 2 buttons down. I don't know if that was one of the options.
I mean, you create your own. Do you feel like you, since doing that video where you had your friends give you a makeover style wise, do you feel like you've experimented more since then?
I mean, I'm currently wearing a shirt that you can see through. You can see my bra. It's unfortunate. I forgot that this wasn't taped. And this morning I was like, oh my God, I got to wax my mustache. And I did it, and then I was like, "Fuck, it's not being taped."
I know we used to have everything on camera, and now we've just pared back down.
Well, we'll take some photos later.
Dope.
So.
Don't worry, it won't go
I
to
do
You
feel
are
like
wearing
my
a fabulous
style-
outfit,
Thank
so
you.
it's nice to show that off.
I feel like my style has changed a lot. Basically, I wanted to do that video because I had like a uniform that wasn't unfashionable. It was just boring.
Sure.
And so I would go into stores and feel like I didn't even have the right to try on stuff. And
Oh.
so now I do. And now I own it. But I
There you
got to
go.
burp. I'm sorry.
Good. God bless.
All the LaCroix, my whole life is like just burping into microphones.
9 times wants to know, do you relate more to Mary-Kate or Ashly growing up? And now?
Whoa. I mean, my name it's not Ashly. This is where I'm debuting my new name. It's Oprah Michelle Obama Perez.
Get the Twitter handle.
No.
Oprah Michelle Obama Perez.
I really
great-
wanted to get a
That's
a
like
back
Donald
tattoo.
Trump's worst
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah.
I wanted a back tattoo that says a tramp stamp. This is when they go low.
Oh, that's so good.
With like angel
that's so
wings.
good.
That's perfect.
my
There's still
God.
time.
I used to relate to Ash, or I wanted to relate to Ashly, but I always related to Mary Kate, and it felt weird to me. But can I tell
How would you describe the differentiation between the two?
I feel like Mary Kate is a little more down to earth, and she
Mhm.
was always a little more tomboyish to me.
Yeah.
The one thing though that one of the most recurring thoughts I've had throughout my life, which is crazy, is what are the Olsen twins doing right now? Because they were one of the most
shoot, I'm
famous
sorry.
people to me.
They're calling.
Yeah.
They're calling right
sorry.
now.
Oh my God, they're like Ashly. They were one of the most famous people to me because like I was really young when I
no, same. I
encountered the
grew up with
Olsens.
them. Yeah, and they were like the embodiment of like if you want to be in entertainment
Yes.
as a successful young woman,
Mhm.
they had their own franchises, their own movies.
And they were like 7.
right.
That was the problem with them is I was like, when I was like hitting 6.5, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this in this amount of time. But that was like, because they were so famous to me, even now I'll be like, oh my God, Mary Kate and Ashly are like alive right now. What are they doing? They're like with weird
They're
French
marrying
billionaires.
older men
Yeah.
that look like
Wearing black.
fathers. Yeah.
Mhm. They're
They-
not, they didn't turn out, now we're all on the Elizabeth Olsen train.
Right. The forgotten Olsen twin that now is like broken out of her sister's shadow. And
She's
still
the
bizarre.
Ashly Simpson of.
Yeah, she's truly the Ashly Simpson of the Olsen brand. But also bizarre that her face looks identical to her sister's,
Mhm.
even though she's not
She
part
was
of the twins.
actually a triplet, and they're just like, we don't need 3. We
Yeah.
only need 2.
And she
they're
just
like,
got taller, so they just pushed her to the side. Someone wants to know, what Hogwarts house are you in?
okay, this is a big. I think I'm a Gryffindor, but a lot of people in my life think I'm a Hufflepuff.
Have you taken the test?
I've taken so many tests, and I've taken the official Pottermore one,
Right.
and I am a Gryffindor unequivocally.
There you go.
But I spent a lot of like one night at 3 a.m. just tweeting at J.K. Rowling, being like, "I know you're awake. Tell me what house I'm in."
I need your help right
Listen,
now.
bitch, my friends are coming at me real hard right now. And I don't want to be a damn Hufflepuff.
911.
But Hufflepuffs are so sensitive. So when I was like very against it, they were like, but I'm a Hufflepuff.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yep.
I've taken it a couple times, and I
Yeah,
agree.
That's
you're like a
surprising.
proud Hufflepuff.
I could see that.
Yeah, just like a floaty weirdo, like
What
a
are you,
flighty.
Jack?
Slytherin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh right,
Mel, what are you?
Slytherin.
Oh.
Diane, you're a Gryffindor, right?
I can see that.
I was Gryffindor for a while, but then I got vicious, and now I'm Slytherin.
She's literally
Oh.
wearing green right now.
Yeah,
hoodie.
you do look very sinister right now.
Very Malfoy.
Get it?
Yeah.
The same person wants to know, what house do you think Quinta is in?
Slytherin for sure. Quinta knows nothing about Harry Potter, but one day we were having this discussion and she's like, dog, I'm a fucking Slytherin. And we were like, okay, Quinta.
Oh, this is a fun question. This is Nellie wants to know, which BuzzFeed person would you most likely rob a bank with?
Oh. Oh my God, who would I choose? Keith would be very entertaining, but he's a little too big and conspicuous.
Yeah, I feel like he would give you guys away really quickly.
Yeah, and then Eugene would like be like, let's take a beautiful photo right now. And we'd get caught. I would say probably Quinta because she's like tiny and could like talk her way out of shit.
Oh, that makes sense.
Honestly, the security guard would probably be a big fan and then
Be
be
like,
like,
"Go ahead."
Quinta, oh my God, I love you. And then we'd just walk in and out.
What's the weirdest experience, this is just my question, that you guys have had with like fans in real life? Or the most like,
Besides being given a small severed hand.
besides a tiny hand, like the most memorable or like, oh, totally unexpected?
The first time I ever got recognized was at Disneyland, and and a girl just hugged me. Like,
Oh, wow.
I didn't know who it was or what was happening. And she looked at me, started crying, and hugged me. And I was like, this possibly could not be for me. And we were in the Honda. And the thing is, when you're recognized in a line and you're just in a line with them,
God.
it was like an hour and a half of her looking over and kind of crying and like, can I hug you? And I'm like, oh no. She was very sweet, whoever you are.
You're like, this is all well intentioned, but now this is an uncomfortable line scenario.
And then I went to the Apple store when I like went home for Christmas one day. And this man who was like 59 years old and like an older white man who kind of looked like a bummed out Santa Claus. He leaned over while we were standing both looking at the wall, like at the gadgets. And he goes, I love your content.
Oh, God. He like whispered it to you.
Yeah, I was like, Mom.
It's not a library.
That was so weird.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable.
He said content.
Yeah, content, which is super weird.
A consummate professional.
That's so funny.
Have you done any of the videos that BuzzFeed does where you handcuff yourself to someone?
I did one and it was so boring because I didn't like it that they never put it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who were you handcuffed to?
I was handcuffed to Chantal and it was just, we didn't do anything. And
It's
so
like,
we
this
were
is
just
normal.
Like,
It
yeah,
just
they were
worked out
like,
fine.
this is too boring. Yeah.
If you had to do it again, who would you choose? Would you and Quinta ever do that? I mean, that would be pretty great.
Quinta is like constantly exhausted by me, so I would have the best time. And the way I exhaust her the most is just by saying her famous catchphrases.
Oh.
So I would love to be handcuffed to her and then be walking places and be like, he got money. Either that or Ella. But Ella and I would just have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, I feel like you guys would just be chill.
We probably would, though, be like, I feel crazy. Let's go rob a bank or something. I don't think we would be chill.
Regardless, I would like
Who
to
would
see
you get
both of those
handcuffed to?
videos. Oh, God. I don't know. I would be uncomfortable no matter what. I mean, I would probably, being handcuffed with Mamrie would be fun.
Yeah.
Because I think we both like,
You guys would just get wasted.
yeah. And we both have just such irregular bowels that I think we would just be like, there's no shame. Like, just do whatever you need to do. We've been backstage at shows with each other so much that we understand. I think Hannah and I would Hannah would be just so tired and want to like do her own thing immediately. She would say yes
Grace,
to it.
I need to journal.
Yeah, she'd be like, yes, of course. Or she'd forget that she has like 12,000 meetings that same day and she wouldn't think it through and be like, all right, now I come. Victoria Lynn Oz wants to know, what is your housewife's tagline?
Oh.
Do you watch Real Housewives?
Yeah, I do. What would my tagline be?
It's hard.
I can only think of, remember that Nick Kroll show, The Liz?
Yeah.
Liz and Liz.
Publicity.
It's bees off our knees.
Yeah.
My favorite thing that show is when she's like, I just want to do it in like chonks. And she says chonks. And I feel like my tagline would just be like, it's chonky.
I'm all for it. I support it. There should be a BuzzFeed Real Housewives. I would love it.
Or I would just yell Oprah.
Oprah. Yeah, I think that would be so good. Okay, speaking of Oprah, Spookarella Chloe wants to know, if you were to work for Oprah's campaign 2020, what would your title be and what would you be doing for her? Would you also then work in the White House when she is elected?
Yes. I would be the director of Oprah. I honestly would do anything for Oprah. You know how Tony Hale in Veep just holds her bag?
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
So you'd be her body man.
Yeah, I feel like that's Stedman's job, though.
Yeah.
Just to hold her bag. There's just like cabbages in it.
Yeah, just in case the opportunity to Instagram arises.
I would be director of Harvest Day, and then in the White House, I would tend to Michelle Obama's garden.
I think that'd be a great, and you turn Harvest Day into like a national celebrated holiday.
Exactly.
Everyone gets off of work.
We can
to do
replace
their own
like
harvest.
Columbus Day or some like shitty white man day.
Yeah, I think
or Spanish man.
I think it's overdue.
Yeah,
I think that the world would be much more open to Harvest Day. If you could ride a unicorn, where would you ride it to? From Imbar325 Rider.
What if I was just like Whole Foods or something? Because there's like special unicorn parking.
Right. They're like from the airport to my house
Yeah, that'd be
during rush
dope.
hour.
I think I would want to do that. Just like a very, very normal place to see how people reacted.
I feel, what's the craziest thing that you've ever seen in Los Angeles? I used to live in Echo Park, and I remember I was running in the neighborhood, and there's a coffee shop up in like the hills where I was running, and there was just a horse outside of the coffee shop. And I was like, this is the most East Side LA thing I've ever seen. I'm not surprised by it, but this is so stupid.
Honestly, it's just like the kinds of get-ups that people are wearing on the street. I saw a woman who must have been like 93 years old, and she looked like she had just had the craziest night in WeHo. And I was like, good for you, girl. And people were like trying to give her money because they thought she was homeless, and she was just clearly like having a great time.
She's like, I'm fine.
That's
LA
awkward.
is nowhere near as weird as New York, though. Like the amount of weird stuff you see on the subway, it will never, ever compare to New York.
And you're so desensitized to it in New York that you forget. At least I forget. Like Jack and I met in New York. And so thinking back on stories, I'm like, oh, right. Every day was a jungle.
There's like poop on the subway all the time.
You ever get that happen where like the subway like pulls up and you're like, oh God, it's gonna be so crowded. And then it pulls up and you're like, oh sweet, this car's like empty.
Yeah.
And then you get in, you're like, oh no, I've made a mistake. And there's just one extremely stinky man.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that's
my
the
God.
reason why the car is empty.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just vomit everywhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like in LA, you just see a lot of people like picking their nose in the car.
Yeah.
Distractedly. And they go to town.
Yeah, it's true. I thought the other day, I was like, people don't realize that when their windows are up, it doesn't mean they're not still clear.
That's so funny.
I feel like everyone assumes my windows are up. No one can see what I'm doing
one can see me.
in this clear box.
Turns out everyone is the same. We all just want to pick our nose in peace.
We just need to pick our nose as we get to whatever it is we're going to.
Soul cycle.
Okay, this last Twitter question comes from Mova, and they ask, how do I stay confident enough to fart in public?
Oh, man. Just do it. Make sure you don't have headphones on so you're like unaware. My favorite thing is to watch people in the gym who like remove their headphones for a second. It's clear they're farting.
Yeah. They're farting and trying to let you know that they're like smelling something to make it look like they didn't fart. They're deflecting their own farts.
So funny.
Yeah, just do what you want. 2018, let it be the year that you do what you want.
Yeah. I mean, I always think like planes are the best case scenario to just fart away in.
Have you ever been in airport bathrooms? Everyone loses all of their inhibitions in an airport bathroom.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know what it is. People have like gotten too much gas in them in the flight, but you step into an airport bathroom and it's a cacophonous symphony of farts, like the most intense farts that anyone's had in their life.
It's also like a meeting ground where everyone assumes that they're homeless. Like people are showering in the sink.
Yeah.
People are changing openly, like in front of the stalls. People are doing full makeup, full like face masks, everything.
They're never going to see these people again. They're just sharding their brains out and then shoving like people putting deodorant on as quickly as they can.
I've seen a woman shaving her legs like in the sink before that clearly is like has somewhere to go right from the airport. It's been like insane. They're like, yeah, I guess this is just what I imagine a sorority house is like.
Yep. And to
I've
bring it
never
full circle,
seen this.
that's what
it
it
must
was
be
like.
a ladies' room thing because I've never seen this.
I mean, I've had things where I've had to go right from an airport to something, and
Sure,
so
it
I've
makes
like
sense.
done my makeup or whatever,
Yeah.
and like fixed my face and like dry shampooed my whole body and all of that. But I've seen like women as if this is their apartment that they've lived in for 20 years.
Wow, when Mitchell and I flew to London and we had to take a car to Brighton, I got off the plane and like brushed my teeth in the bathroom and he was so grossed out by it. He's like, what are you doing?
That you were brushing your teeth in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Which seems like a normal place.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought too.
It's a
He's like,
very
what are
normal
you
place.
doing? Like, that's for private. And I was like, I'm just brushing my teeth.
That's for private.
Basically,
It's
yeah.
for private no time.
Yeah.
Don't brush your teeth in public. What's wrong with you? Yeah, he was so grossed out by it.
Oh,
But
Mitchell.
Mitchell's a little fussy.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing, we have a little segment called This is Curious, where we found something that you've posted on social media that we just want to know what the backstory is. And I think we have a tweet from you.
Yeah, we do. There it is.
It says, me as Adele. Hello, it's me. JK, please disregard that text. I was tipsy, lols. Hope you're well. And then a wine emoji, wink face emoji, and okay fingers emoji.
Oh,
This is
man.
from December 6th, 2015.
You know what's hilarious? 2015 was such a different time. We were just like,
We're so
here's
pure.
a joke. I don't have any official government documents I need to retweet today. So it's like, I was thinking about Adele. I mean, this was a period in my life. Yeah, I was still single then. And I definitely, anytime I would get tipsy, would just go through my entire phone and tell anyone that I had a crush on, just like, hey, what's up? And so when this song came out, I definitely read it as like, oh my God, that actually is me, but not in the serious we used to be in a relationship way, but like maybe we could be in a relationship. And then the JK is the next morning when I'm like, Oh my God.
Oops.
Whoops.
Misfire. Sorry, I meant this for someone else.
That's so funny.
Wait, I just realized. Okay, I've been doing this new thing, and you can totally cut this out of the show, but it'd be fun. I've been doing a fortune every day. Because I want, again, like my Twitter feed is so depressing because of the current political climate that I just want like fun, like fortune. So it's like, may you try on a pair of jeans and your ass looks great.
Oh, that you've been...
Yeah, it's just a fortune that I'm giving out to people.
Oh.
So do you want to do the fortune for today with me?
Yeah, well, we can actually do this together because we have the gift for you for being a guest on our show, which is actually a fortune cookie.
Oh, what?
With a tailored fortune specifically for you. How weird.
Wait, what?
Diane is presenting. We have two
Like
options.
I said, we've done research.
So this is your gift for giving us your time. So maybe this can be your fortune for today.
Oh, yeah, shit. Okay, let's see. Lucky numbers. Great. It says bread, Oprah. You gotta if you haven't watched yet, Oprah Winfrey's Weight Watchers ad where she only talks about how she eats bread every day.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
She's like, I will not deny myself bread. You know what? I'm glad that my brand is so closely associated with Oprah.
I think it's you're manifesting. So maybe a fortune that you craft that may you love something today as much as Oprah loves bread.
Literally, I think my last 3 fortunes have been about Oprah. So okay, let's do it.
On brand.
I think that's a great thing that you're doing on a daily basis. Put something positive into the universe.
And it makes me so happy. I haven't had that kind of joy in a while, and they're just so silly.
That's
and people
great.
are like, this is the most positive thing on my timeline.
Give people something exciting about Twitter to look forward to rather than going, oh God, what's going to happen when I open up Twitter right now?
How did you find this tweet?
Mel found it.
Did you go that deep?
Or Diane found it. Deep dive. Ashly, thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you for having me here.
If people don't know, where can they find you across all social media, on the internet, etc.?
It's ITS Ashly Perez and Ashly with no E.
Ashly with no E. Make sure you check it out. She's making really great content, and you have a lot of like really fun stuff coming up that I don't want to like spoil, but cool things are on the horizons.
Yeah, you're gonna know. They're gonna be checking every day and be like, not today, the cool thing.
Yeah, refresh. Why? Just another fortune? Okay. Well, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time on another episode of Not Too Deep. Goodbye.
Bye.
Too deep, too deep, too deep, not too deep with Grace Helbig.
This episode of Not Too Deep is brought to you by the premiere of an amazing new show on NBC called Good Girls. It stars Christina Hendricks, Retta, and Mae Whitman. Vogue.com raves, get ready to be hooked. Don't miss Good Girls after the premiere of The Voice with new coach Kelly Clarkson, Monday, February 26th on NBC.
Not Too Deep is a production of Grace Helbig Incorporated.
Produced and directed by Jack Ferry.
Producer Melissa D. Mons.
With writing by Diane Kang.
Production assistance by Jenny Stringfellow.
Audio support by Chris Henry.
Editing by Melissa D. Mons.
And an extra special thank you to Flula for the theme music.